Central.
Hello class, stop buying those Bath and Body Works candles when you can make your own candle at home. Come on, I'll show you how. First of all, I'm going to use soy wax. I like soy wax because it solidifies better with your essential oil. I use 1 pound of soy wax to 1 ounce of essential oil. So what we want to do is we want to take our wax and we want to melt it down. For the sake of the video, I have already melted the wax down, as you can see. And here's my temperature. The wax have to be at 180 degrees. So that means you have to boil the wax until it completely melts. Not only melts, but the temperature needs to rise to 180 degrees. So right now, I'm going to check my temperature. And we're already at 179 degrees, so that's good enough. You're gonna also need a double boiler. I found this boiler at the thrift store, and this pan that I use for the water to melt it, I found at Family Dollar for $3. You do not have to spend a whole lot of money on a double boiler, but you do need something that you can melt your wax in that you can easily throw away. You don't want to use your good pots and pans. So now we're getting ready to pour our wax. Before we pour our wax, it's very important to know that you're going to need a hot glue gun. This hot glue gun is used to glue down your wicks in your jar. I have already glued this down for you for the sake of the video. And here are my wicks. I got these wicks at Amazon for like $3. It comes in a bag for like 20. But the key is making sure your wicks are equal to your jar. Now this is an 8-ounce jar, and I had to get wicks that was comparable to an 8-ounce jar. I also use the smaller jars, as you can see, which they have wicks in that size. And then I use a medium-sized jar, which they have wicks in that size. So now that I have glued down the wick to the jar, we're going to take our essential oil. This is lemongrass. And we're just going to put it in. You can use the whole bottle, the 1-ounce bottle, to 1 pound of wax. And then after we do that, we're just going to stir. So once you start stirring in one direction, stir about 20 times in that direction, and then rotate and stir backwards 20 times. What this does, it gets the essential oils embedded into this hot wax. So when you light your candle, this is where your scent is gonna come from. So now we're ready to pour. When you pour in your wax, make sure you're holding up your wick so the wick won't fall into the wax. And you don't want to fill the jar all the way up, but just enough to the top so that you still can see your wick. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my spoon to hold my wick into place. Once the wax solidifies, the wick will automatically just stay in place. They also have little gadgets on Amazon. They're called wick clips that you can use to clip your wick to the jar. But I prefer this method much better. Your scale, you're going to need your scale to weigh your soy wax or whatever kind of wax you use. So make sure you're using 1 pound of wax and 1 ounce of essential oil into your wax. And again, I got the wicks from Amazon, and they were only $3 and some change for about 20 of them. Disclaimer, wax is very expensive. Again, soy wax is the better wax because it solidifies better, it throws the scent better, but you can use any type of wax. I encourage you to just play around with it. If you follow my steps, then you will have a nice, decent smelling candle. Here is the candle that I made earlier. This is my example of my candle. So when I get ready to light it, I'm going to cut the wick down to cross the top of the jar. You don't want to cut it too low, but just cut it even across the jar. And then once it solidifies, you can light your candle. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you.